In the year 2001, I first developed ideas about parallel universes, not because I know so much about physics, but because I saw it's practical for self-improvement purposes. The idea of parallel universes says that there are many different versions of events happening at the same time. In other words, there's many different versions of your job, many different versions of this day, many different versions of planet Earth. And regardless of whether this idea is ultimately true or not, I found that it's effective. Because if you can think in terms of different versions of things, you automatically and naturally gravitate toward improvement. Why? Because you know there must be a better version of what's going on right now. You see, when we make a movie, we usually do many different takes of a scene, and then in the editing room, we choose the best takes, the best versions of a particular scene. We don't just do the scene once and then say, okay, that's it. We try to improve the scene and improve it, and I believe the very same thing applies to daily life, applies to reality. So then in the year 2006, I published an entire book on this idea called Parallel Universes of Self, which, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. It contains the idea taken from physics for the purpose of self-improvement. It was then in the year 2016, the year of this recording, that I, for the first time, had enough experiential results in my coaching work that I could make a seminar out of it. Okay, that's when I started giving the course, 10 years after the book was written, after I had received feedback from all countries in the world. The book has been translated into 7 languages now, and it's my most successful book because it actually works. The concept is actually effective, which has allowed me to develop this new course. Now, to give you, the viewer, a feel for what this idea can mean in your life, how magically it can transform your life, I'm going to share a little exercise with you. Okay, so I'd like you to take a reality in your life. It could be your job or your relationship, or it could be your general day. It could even be something specific, such as your office. It could be a health issue. It could be the way your body looks. I'd like you to take one reality, and I'd like you to think of it as it is right now. You can close your eyes or keep them open. If you close your eyes, it might be easier to get into that. Okay, you're getting into that reality from your daily life. And now I'd like you to label that as a level 2 reality, as if there were different versions of it, and this is the level 2 version. And as you've already figured out, where there's a level 2, there's also a level 1 and a level 3 and a level 4. So right now I'd like you to reduce that in your mind, reduce that reality that you chose to level 1. See if you can, with the help of your imagination, make it all a little bit darker, heavier, more serious. seriousness always being the indicator of things sliding downwards. Can you see that reality, that job, that relationship on level 1? Just a little bit worse. Now, since we don't want that to manifest, we're not going to act upon that, we're just viewing it. And we're going to go back up to level 2, to that which you consider realistic. And you might find a sense of relief going back up to 2, to the way things really are, in quotation marks. Now, I teach and I claim that because you think this is the way things really are, because you're used to this and familiar with this, that's the reason it stays that way. Okay, and you can feel that sense of familiarity when you think of it. So I'd like you to move the same reality that you chose up to level 3. The same job or the same relationship or the same situation up to level 3. Make it just a little brighter, just a little bit lighter, just a little more happy, just a little more free. How is this reality on your best days? And I'd like you to dedicate a little more time to that. Give that a little bit more attention. Because you've been used to number 2, why not get used to number 3? What if the same reality, nothing's changed much, but the same reality is just a little bit more good? And then, just for fun, move the same reality up to a level 4. Everything in this reality that you chose now being fantastic, amazing, refreshing, loving, happy, joyful, funny, interesting, amazing. The tone of it changes, the whole tone, the color. I'd like you to enjoy that. And stay there for a while I talk to you. Now, what I teach and what I've discovered is that if you were to not only stay here energetically and feel that mood, capture that mood every single day, but also start acting upon that new mood, acting upon that high vision, you'd gradually shift over to a parallel universe timeline in which that is already true. And according to parallel universe theory from physics, it is already true. All you have to do is somehow find a way to get in touch with it, to feel as if, act as if, behave as if it were already true. And if you were to do that like an actor, in every single little detail, you'd gradually start attracting into your life according to that. So-called, in the beginning, so-called coincidences would come up into your life, little events that show that you've shifted in your consciousness. Now open your eyes again, complete this. When you look at your surroundings right now, you'll see that initially nothing much will have changed. Things pretty much still look the same. You haven't suddenly jumped into a parallel universe, unless you're of a higher consciousness by which this exercise instantly yields results. So what is this about? It's about physical reality being in time. okay? It requires time for things to develop and manifest and come into your life, whereas your consciousness is outside of time, requires no time to be there. Okay, that's why your mind and your spirit are always much quicker than physical reality. So if you go and say, okay, I've changed my thinking now and my emotions, but nothing outside has changed, what's the point? You are missing the point. Okay, you have to, instead of going back to your old consciousness and your old feeling, you have to find a way to maintain that for a while. Because eventually, as you maintain and maintain and maintain and maintain, consciousness eventually overpowers physical reality, and physical reality changes. I strongly encourage you to learn more about this. You'd be amazed at what is possible. You'd be absolutely stunned that much, much more is possible. So go ahead, read my books on it, visit my seminars on it, visit the Parallel Universes of Self seminar, get my online video course called Reality Creation and Manifestation. Learn as much as you can on it, educate yourself, and become really good at this, because once you've gotten it deep inside, once you've felt it, how your consciousness can completely propel you into an entirely new reality, you'll have it made. You'll know that you can be, do, or have anything you can really dedicate yourself to wholeheartedly, loyally.